And we are back with another episode of the Hockey Princess podcast. I am your host, the Hockey Princess. We have crusty old guy over here making weird faces. Just as a
Yeah.
reminder, folks, make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. Leave us a 5-star review, subscribe, tell us how we're doing, do all the things, friends. It's the giving season, so please give us a review. Uh, yeah, what I did there.
Oh,
See,
that's something to be thankful for.
if you are going to a game this season, one, highly recommend Su Taca de El Rey del Taco over on Ogden. I know Christy said that we weren't going to shout them out this week because they were packed, which good for them. The last time we went, it was absolutely bumping, but it's our favorite spot, so we have to
And
shout.
it's delicious.
It's absolutely delicious. If you are going to a game this season, Blackhawk game specifically, or really any NHL game, please wait for the whistle. Do not get up while the puck's in play. I understand that emergencies are emergencies and tiny tots cannot control things. That is different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, going to get beer number 5 while the game's in play. Please just wait. Just wait. Yes, Krusty.
And if you're taking people to the game, explain that to them.
Yes. Tell your
And
friends.
then maybe they'll tell 2 friends. And then they'll tell 2 friends. And so on, and so on, and so on. Because there's not a lot of people telling people not to walk up to their seats while puck's in play. So we need to start policing ourselves.
Yes.
So let's just get the word out. I understand there's a lot of people getting into this game for the first time there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just try to spread the word nicely, which Krusty struggles at.
I will say, I have struggled to find the very old Jonathan Taves video because I was just going to put that out to the world. Can't find it. Don't know if Blackhawks got rid of it during the Kyle Davidson rebuild. But once upon a time, there was a great video that used to be played at the United Center with your captain, Jonathan Taves, telling everybody, please wait for the whistle. So do what Jonathan Taves says and wait for the whistle, friends.
Yes, please.
Getting into the NHL world, continuing where we left off in Dallas.
We left off in Dallas?
Because there's more. The Rantanen saga continues.
What?
Yes. Did you not hear? Oh, Krusty
I
doesn't
guess I,
know
I guess
things.
I did not. Did he
So,
get suspended?
yes.
For how many games?
Well, hold on. So we'll walk through the timeline, friends. So we've got the hit last week that we talked about. Hate to see that happen. Really hate Patrick Roy's reaction of threatening a player. But then Dallas plays Calgary. I don't remember if it's the night after, but it's the next game that Dallas plays. Dallas Rantanen gets called for boarding Coronado into the boards, an immediate 5-minute and ejection. But because he's had 2 ejections within a 41 game period, he's suspended for 1 game. I don't know about anybody else, but the Calgary one definitely seemed smaller than the Islanders one. Not to make hits and potential injuries insignificant, but I don't know if I would have like 5 minutes, sure, but I don't know if it was an ejection, but that just might be my bias that I'm a fan of Rantanen. But so he was suspended for 1 game. Yeah.
Well, they bring into play, other behavior, and if the other behavior is that recent, obviously they figure he hasn't heard them, so they're gonna try yelling some more. I did not know that. All I know is he was suspended on my fantasy team.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, that's just got to be old because I didn't really hear anything about it. But now I have.
Yes,
So
you have.
obviously I'm not listening to everything that's going on. That's a
And
shame on me.
Romanov has undergone surgery and is expected to be out for 5 to 6 months with shoulder.
And that was the guy he hit, right?
In the Islanders.
Yes.
Yeah. Next bit for the NHL. rumor, speculation. We don't know. One of Krusty's, well, Krusty likes watching him more than I do, but Brady Tkachuk is set to come back at some point this week. Good for Ottawa, who, as of right now, are the only Canadian teams in playoff contention. You figure Brady was going to come back before Matthew. You figured he was going to come back well before the Olympic conversation. Yeah, good for Ottawa.
Yeah, I mean he's a fun player to watch. He's a key cog on that team, and it just makes him that much more dangerous. And gosh, we could do a whole show on the bedwetting of Canada.
Yeah, for real.
So, but again, we're now almost at the end of November, and the thing is nobody's really out of it. Even Toronto, they're what, maybe like 4 points away. It's still very tight.
Right.
Yeah, nobody's really fallen off the map except for like 2 teams. So nothing to worry about yet, but there's got to be concerns in Toronto.
Oh, for sure.
And there's definitely got to be concerns in Vancouver.
For sure. Jumping to another, I wanted to get your opinion if you had heard about the comments that were made for regarding another team that has kind of fallen off the bandwagon. So our good friends down in Nashville aren't doing so hot. And,
they're not.
You know, somebody asked Barry Trotz what's going on, and he proceeded to kind of just throw all the players under the bus collectively. He didn't single out anybody in particular. I'm looking up for the exact quote, but he very much just threw everybody under the bus in terms of their past performance. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, as far as that goes, for what you're stating, number one, I do believe no matter what, he will do right by Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
And if this turns into a shit show.
Ryan O'Reilly, did you see that? Sorry to interrupt, but did you see that press where he's like, completely shitting on himself, and he's like, I can't even make a pass? Get that poor man out of Nashville. As a Chicago fan, I know it doesn't make sense for us to be Ryan O'Reilly fans, but we are Ryan O'Reilly fans. Get that poor man out of Nashville and onto an actually good team. Get him out.
Well, they're not good right now, and they're old, and this isn't a slow league. And the other main part with all of this, in case I'm sure you've noticed, I'm sure your listeners have noticed, this has been a season of major league flops. What I mean by that is, your Stranger Things kind of stuff. Like, we're in the Upside Down. I think that's coming out soon. God, I love that show. But basically, the teams that kept on knocking on the door, like the Anaheim Ducks, they're here.
Yeah.
And your other teams that are supposedly a stronghold, like Toronto, are not here. There is a major league shift, and it seems like Nashville is completely caught in that. We're at the end of the day just too slow, but then you grip your stick tight, everything else, and just everything snowballs.
Yeah.
So as far as Trotz is concerned, yeah, it's on the players, because some of that's on him. He's going to have to listen to this. He jettisoned the goaltender to San Jose, who looks like he's all world right now.
Askarov is that guy. I'm pretty sure somebody called that a couple of years ago, that Askarov was the guy, and that Nashville was going to be wishing that they didn't do that trade.
But I mean, that's on Barry. That's
well, on Barry. So his quotes were, I need insert expletive more from them. I need more. I'm watching the game systematically. I know who makes mistakes. When the puck is on someone's stick and they pass it right to the other team, that's not on Burnett's fault. That's on theirs. So he's not even placing blame on the head coach, which I'm a firm believer. Sorry, Andrew Burnett, but it's our boy Luke Richardson's time down in Nashville.
Yeah, now I remember the interview a little bit, and it was more of another vote of confidence to Burnett, which, again, what Trotz is stating is right on. The fact that they're playing like complete dog shit, that's not on Burnett. The execution is not on the coach. The system's on the coach, getting your younger players ready to play. But with the amount of finished products they have, a coach isn't doing much. Okay, they should already be there.
But wouldn't you think that it's also, like you said, it's also on him, but he's not going to say that because grown men can't take accountability for their actions. But some of that's on them because I feel like there's a difference because you mentioned, you know, Nashville's definitely older. They have younger pieces, as I talked about this week during our Monday preview. They have younger pieces, but they're primarily older. And I think there's a balance that teams need to have where there's a difference between having a cluster of older guys like your Pittsburgh, like your Washington, like I want to throw Tampa into the mix, maybe not right now, but maybe like last year, like where they've got a little bit of a group where they're a cluster of younger guys with, or older guys with some younger guys as well. I feel like there's a significant difference between that and an entire roster of older guys. You need some youth in that team. So
yeah,
I think the way that he built it is just wrong. It's kind of like KD going out and signing every free agent. Was it like 2 summers ago? Like that, it doesn't work. We have shown it doesn't work. Nashville's showing it doesn't work.
Well, I think that's a difference. I think he thought he had enough, and with a couple more pieces, he was going to take care of business. And the other thing he's doing is he can't come out to the press and say, I messed up and these guys are worthless. So instead of doing that, he states, I need more.
Isn't that kind of like saying that they're worthless, but in cursive?
It kind of is a little bit, but he's saying, I know there's more there. You guys know there's more there. Once you cross the line of saying this was a mistake, I mean, the grand team that did that was Montreal. When who did they draft? The defenseman, Rottenbacher or something?
Reinbacher?
Yes. And they basically said they made a mistake and should have drafted the other kid.
Oh, poor
Once you do that, you can't walk that back. Once you say, I made a mistake by signing these guys, it deteriorates like that. The only time you can state that is when you want to move everybody and blow it up. I don't think they're there yet, but I don't see how they're able to hold on without a run before Christmas. I mean, they're in a bad way.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Trotz is going to be there.
Get Brian O'Reilly off that team. Put Brian O'Reilly on a good
team. I mean, what I've heard, what Friedman has stated is if Ryan O'Reilly wants to stay, he'll stay. If he really wants to move, I would assume they'll accommodate him.
Good.
But again, Ryan O'Reilly's of that breed also. He's not leaving those guys. He's not going to bail on them. If that happens, that means there's been a little bit of a group discussion and the group has decided. But I know Forsberg likes it there, and Forsberg's still a heck of a player. So I don't know what you do, but you're bad. What you've done has really not worked.
No. But also, if they continue with this, maybe Kevin gets the net come February. It's really the battle of bad teams right now. But, I mean, on an Olympic stage, neither one of their goaltenders are bad. They've just got some bad parts in front of them.
Yeah, and it's a rough league, and as you know, I mean it's 5 plays in a game that can dictate it.
Yeah.
So That's enough time in Nashville.
But
My
jumping to,
goodness.
because we have another rumor. Yeah, I
We're
know.
rumor central today.
We are rumor central today. There's a rumor that there's a man in Carolina that's not too happy about his ice time, about how he's fallen in terms of where he's playing. And I feel like if he were to jump, it could be very interesting, not only for Carolina, but for whatever team he goes to. Not Chicago, but that would be a dream. And that is your Andrei Svechnikov is not happy. Christy, what are your thoughts?
Well, that's a Rod team. He could really care less if you're happy or not. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you're not happy, play better. Ice time is earned. He knows that. Carolina does not make rash decisions, and they don't. And so with that, they are not. Yes, THP.
Mikko Rantanen wasn't a rash decision.
No, it wasn't. They found a way to get a player. They did not want Nashis. We've known that for 4 years. They had control over him, but they did not trust him long term in the playoffs.
Right.
They just did not. So
Nashis
they wanted
was
him
in the second part of it.
So they saw it as a chance. It wasn't rash. They get Mikko Rantanen. They thought they could. It's not the first time that they thought they could sell Carolina and the atmosphere there. It just didn't work for Mikko. But I thought that was a solid decision. They'd been wanting to move on from Nashis for a while. I mean, remember the rumors of us getting them, and then every Chicago reporter saying we don't have to give up much. And that's the other thing. For the Big Russian, you're going to have to give up a lot of pieces. Yeah. They won't be just giving him away because he's unhappy. That is a power forward that can play in the top 6 easily for anyone. Those don't come cheap. So he can bitch about it. At the end of the day, they're not going to move him cheaply.
But he's a top 6 guy, but you're not playing top 6 minutes.
I trust in Rod. I firmly trust in if Rod's not giving you top 6 because you're not playing like a top 6 player, and he doesn't care. He'll find somebody else. He'll find Martin Hook who will come up and give him quality minutes. He does not care. I mean, obviously he sees something there. So, but they're still not going to give him away for anything. He'll just bury him on the bench and tell him he expects him to come out of it. You know, that's on the player. So that should be a fun one. Makes you think, oh yeah, let's go grab him. Yes, to go grab him is not cheap.
I'm fine with that.
And what I mean by not cheap, that's probably your number 1 pick, Oliver Moore and Vanaker.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd think about it too.
Yeah. I mean, what's our number 1 pick? We talked about this during, what was it, the Seattle game? We don't know what our number 1 pick is yet.
Well, I think your number 1 pick will still be a top 10. Yes.
You don't know?
If not, top 5. So.
Wow, you really have spun to the negative side. Getting a top 5.
Yeah, I mean, they're what, number 24, 25 in the league right now? Probably. So it's early, so everything changes quickly. So
it's true.
Again, I believe in what Rod is seeing. I have not watched much Carolina, so I cannot say either way.
You would side with the crusty old man.
He's a straight shooter.
He's a crusty old man.
He expects.
Rod should have been on your Mount Rushmore.
He should have. Yes. Anybody that works out like that, and
right.
So I guess it could continue. Could it happen? Yes. But I guarantee it will not be cheap. It will cost, and it will cost huge. So we'll see. I mean, Carolina makes moves, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe a little something up north to the blue and white.
Yeah, but what's the blue and white gonna give?
I don't know. I think right now the blue and white's pretty happy with giving up whatever they need to actually start winning.
Right, but I think that would start with Matthew Nyes, and are you really willing to do that? I don't think so.
I'd give up really anything short of Willie Nylander.
I don't know if I'd give up Nyes. He's another younger player who plays hard also.
Yeah.
So you're right. It'll be very interesting to see how it all goes.
Very interesting. One final thing in the NHL world at the time of recording, because I don't think that Detroit is playing at the
Yeah, I was
moment.
going to bring up the same thing.
Yeah, I know you would. At the time of recording, this actually really shouldn't. Well, this might change for tomorrow because we're recording on a Tuesday. But at the time of recording, Showtime is 20 points away from breaking Mike Modano's record for the most points in the NHL for a USA born player, because it's going to happen. They're projected on track for the beginning mid of January. He is right now at, what's the number? 1,355. He's got to hit 1,374 to tie it, and then 1,375 to break it. I mean, it's a great thing to see. I'm a firm believer of records exist to be broken. I think this is great for Showtime, especially now coming back from the injury, where a lot of people were very skeptical or hesitant of, is he going to be the same? Is he going to play at all? Because, there are a lot of guys that have had the same issue that really haven't been the same post surgery. So I love this, but no matter what team he plays for, I love Showtime. Yes, Christy, I can see the eyebrows furrowing. You have a
So if you're saying the beginning of January, what you're saying is there's a possibility he could set the record New Year's Eve.
Yes.
That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Now, with the big horseshoe that Hockey Princess has, I could see that actually happening.
Oh.
So that's all I was going with that one.
Even if he were to just tie it during that game. Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. But no, that's the only other thing that I had was it's getting close now. So the watch will start. I'm shocked that it won't be in the Indian head, but oh well. Either way, good for him.
Thank Katie for that, but happy to see him do it. Chris, you got anything else in the NHL world?
I don't believe so. I think we can get into it a little bit more maybe next week of the upside down world. But for right now, we'll see how the rest of this week plays out. Again, it's early, so everything's kind of mishmashing, but I do believe there's worry in Toronto.
Oh, definitely, which I love to see that. Jumping to our other favorite league, we talked about a little bit about the PWHL last week, but we are in week 2. We have had the first weekend of PWHL hockey, and guys, it's been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. As a reminder, guys, all of the games are on YouTube. You can live stream them on YouTube. You can also go back and just watch them. They just have them up. So, if you're working, you're busy, whatever, you can go and watch them multiple days after, which I think is fantastic and a slam dunk for the PWHL to grow the game, is to just make it truly the most accessible to USA viewers. Guys, I know in Canada and in different countries, it's a little bit different. There's more restrictions, but for USA audiences in particular, I think this is a slam dunk for them. I would also like to give the notice of the Seattle-Vancouver game, sold out the Vancouver arena. I saw pictures. It was absolutely insane. I love that for them. But for the next Seattle home game, They have opened up the what's the equivalent of our 300 level
I think
because
they have suites and then a 200 level.
Yeah. So it was just the 100 level first. They sold that out so fast that they're opening up the 200 level, and they are they're going to sell out by the time the game is. So that is slightly over 17,000 seats. And so that's about slightly over 17,000 people going to be at this PWHL game. And guys, it's absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. I love this. I think this is, I can't say anything else aside from it's great for the league. It's great for the sport. Hell, you don't even have NHL teams that can sell out their own arena, and you're selling out game 2 for a brand new team. I think it's just absolutely exciting.
Well, I will break, what we're supposed to be doing on the radio, and one of the rules of when you're teaching, and ask questions that I don't know the answer to, and I'm unsure that you have the answer to. But in Vancouver, they don't play where the Canucks play.
No.
And I've heard that barn is supposed to be pretty kick-ass.
The one where the Golden Eyes are playing?
Yes.
Yes. I've seen the inside. It looks pretty.
Yeah, I know it's not that big as the other place, but I've heard it's a phenomenal place that's been sitting around to play hockey.
It's definitely smaller than where the Canucks play, but it's not drastic. Like, you're not looking at a
AHL
United Center versus the BMO sort of thing. Like, it still packs a decent amount of people in there. I'd say it's definitely bigger than the All-State.
No, and the other thing, I'll give Friedman credit because this is all, I get a good part of my information from him. But the buzz in Vancouver, it was the thrill of that place holding hockey again also. So
yeah,
good for them, good for the league. It's a hard market to get into just because, hey, as anybody who deals with hockey here in the States, we know we're number 4 and we're not close to number 3. That's the way it is down here. So
yeah,
that's all I got.
Very exciting. Jumping over to, and just as a reminder, folks, we have our 2 takeovers in Chicago. They're not sold out yet, so guys, get your tickets. December 21st, Minnesota Frost, my girl Kendall Coyne, and the legend that is Maddie Rooney in net against the Ottawa Charge. And then they also are having a takeover for PWHL end of March, I believe March 25th. It's going to be the New York Sirens versus the Seattle Torrent with legend Hillary Knight. So very, very exciting. Jumping to prospect report. Let's see if I can get my notes. We've got 1 goal and 1 assist for Jack Pridham out of the Kitchener Rangers. 3 goals and 3 assists for Merrick Vanaker from Brantford Bulldogs. 1 assist for Parker Holmes for Brantford Bulldogs. Brantford also had a really nice addition. There was a trade this weekend, not with a Blackhawk prospect, but with Jet Luchenko, who was a high draft pick. I want to say either last year or the year before, and has been traded to Brantford. So he will be an interesting piece for that roster as a whole. I don't know, Krusty's rolling his eyes or whatever.
Has he been drafted yet?
Is Luchenko? Yeah.
By Winnipeg? This is a play on his first name. You don't need to look it up. What's his first name?
Jet.
Sorry. I'm always thinking, don't look it up. Let's just continue.
No, he's a Flyers prospect.
Okay. Well, he needs to be traded to Winnipeg.
There you go. You've got 2 goals and 1 assist for Put a Spell on You, AJ Spellacy out of Windsor Spitfires. 1 goal and 2 assists for Nathan Bim out of Kamloops Blazers. 1 goal and 1 assist for Julius Sump from Providence College. 1 assist for Vaclav Nastrasa from UMass. And then you have got my favorite, who I get to see not this weekend, but next weekend. Should be very exciting. It's going to be the battle of goaltenders. Adam Guyon with 1 win and 1 loss against Colorado College this past weekend, putting his save percentage at 0.925. Guys, I am going up with the Lawson Lunatics to Western Michigan. They're playing University of Minnesota Duluth. It should be very exciting, not this weekend because it's American Thanksgiving, so college kids aren't playing, junior kids are. But college kids aren't, but the following weekend after, the Bulldogs are going to be at Western Michigan, and I'm pumped. It should be Guyon and expected against Hampton Slakinski, who is a Kings prospect. Should be very, very exciting between the two of them. And, I mean, Duluth's been on an absolute tear since the beginning of the season. Christy, I know you don't have anything, but I still like to be nice and ask, do you have anything with the prospects?
I do not.
Okay. Rockford, there's a reason we spent so much time in the NHL world, friends, and that's because it's not looking good in Rockford. But it did get incredibly spicy, and there's a point that I definitely want to bring up later when we talk about the big club, which is, guys, what is going on in the referee world? Because tell me why I had to watch poor, sweet Kevin Korchinski get clearly speared from a Stars player, and there's nothing called. Like, fully, whistle's done, play's done, and he just goes right in between the legs and up into the groin. Definitely looked like it hurt. Couldn't
it's a fast game. There's only so many eyes.
Yeah, there was nothing going on. They literally blew the whistle, and then he decided to, spear him. Very Corey Perry-esque. But it was very, very feisty. There's a lot of fighting, a lot of hitting. Jackson Cates got hit Friday night and then was out for Saturday's game, and that looked pretty gnarly. Again, nothing really was called. But looks like you've got Berezhnoy having more time. It's turning more into like a 60-40, 50-50 split between Comesso and Berezhnoy. So Comesso's not taking the number one as of right now. Lardis still leads the AHL right now in terms of points. It's fine. I'm not going to sit here and get negative about all of it because that's what I did last week. So we just talked about the NHL rumor mill a bit more. But it's fine. We'll see how the rest of the month goes.
Well, you told me that you wouldn't even be mentioning them as punishment. So I'm glad to see you at least came around to at least talking about them for a second.
I can't not. Like, it's difficult.
You've got to give your viewers what they want.
Exactly.
You
and they
want
Rockford IceHogs content.
There are people that get all of their Rockford information from you. You owe it to them.
That's amazing. All right, big boys. Before we get into the games, and not that I believe that anyone that listens to this show would do this, but because it was circulating yesterday and I think the day before, I'm gonna have a gentle reminder. If you see players out in public, don't be weird. Just don't be weird. They are out in public with their friends or their partners or their family, living their normal life. So just don't be weird, and let's stop thinking that, they automatically, we expect something out of them just for running into them. Like, they are living their life. They do not owe you anything just because you ran into them at a bar or on the sidewalk. It's weird. It's really weird. That is all.
I can elaborate on that if you'd like.
Go for it, Krusty.
Yeah, that really, I don't know if that's circulated nationally, but it's circulated at least around Chicago. And basically, that's not a fan.
Nope.
We've got a lot of bad names for the people who hawk things and get people to sign stuff. And they were all just walking together in a nice little group. I love the scribble sign that, Connor just decided F it and went and did it. But I'm pretty sure that was up for sale for $200 within the next day. Yeah. That's all that's about. And these kids don't have time for that. No. They don't want to be bothered. That's one of the great things about hockey is these guys will interact with kids all the time.
Right.
But as far as that type, they're usually very good with them. But by one person, they've sealed their fate as far as this team's concerned. Because they won't be signing any of their stuff for a little while. Because you made them look bad.
Yeah.
There's just no need for it. They're not fans.
No.
They're doing it to make money. And they're bothering a 20-year-old to do it. Good on Connor. And you can tell that he's been in the spotlight a long time. Somebody like me, there would have been F-bombs and everything else. At least he just went about his business.
Yeah.
But we don't like to tell anybody what to do, but trust me, that's not a baddie on Connor Bedard. I can tell you that.
We don't like to tell people what to do, but I'm going to tell people to not be weird. And I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, they'll let you know if they have time or not. And really, once you're somebody in your 20s, this is about the kids. The kids really, it makes memories for them. I understand it makes memories for you either. And I'm not saying don't ask, but then don't press it after that.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty good, but they also know that once they stop, depending on who other people are, then everybody just comes in. So I've probably given that too much airtime also. So, but I know, I saw that all over the place, and everybody's like everything else in this world right now. Everybody's got an opinion.
Exactly. But I do. Everyone's
what I'm doing here.
Universal. Yeah, we have a show to just air out our opinions. All right, getting to the big club. We have some games to talk about.
Okay.
None of them were good, except for the last one. I will argue that I didn't completely hate the last one, but there were a lot of things that happened. I was very much the negative Nelly last week. And surprisingly, even though with all of these bad results, I have decided to not be negative Nelly this week. So, guys, we're back to our normal thing where Krusty's negative and I'm not.
I don't know if Krusty's negative, but I will say before we start talking about the games that the schedule changes. And now this next week will be very telling for this club.
Isn't that what I said last week? And you thought
it was because you heard it from me earlier. So, hey.
I can read the schedule.
Can you?
Yes, I can read.
So let's just leave it at that for now. I won't be negative, but the easy setup time is somewhat over. It's still not set up too bad for them, but
no.
This next week
never have it bad with this team.
This week will be a difference maker. You need 4 points out of 6. Let's see what they do.
Yes.
But you want to go to the game?
Yeah, starting off, Chicago versus Seattle. You have Spencer Knight versus Joey Decord, 11 forwards with 7 defensemen per usual. Foligno and the Dick are out. You've got 2 nice goals at the beginning, one from Tava, one from Bert. Yay, Artie on that second one with Bert. Solid second period. I think they flipped it, so it's no longer the second period scaries. It's if we have a lead, we're just going to give it away. Seattle ties it in the third with the most infuriating thing ever. Yeah. We talked about it a little bit. I've calmed down. I'm glad that this wasn't like the day before that we were going to start recording. I don't think I would have been as mad as I was in that moment because I was pretty mad. And for the listeners, I was not mad at who everybody else was mad. I was mad at Connor initially because I'm always mad at the refs. That's the thing. That's never new. I was definitely mad at Connor, but then he, owned up to it during his post-game media. And what can you say about a 20-year-old kid who owns up to something like that? There's definitely plenty of players, even grown adults, that wouldn't. But But yeah, it was fine. You'd love to have those 2 points back. You really love to have those 2 points back. I thought Joey Decord had a great game, but I'm a fan of his, so I hope he, like Spencer, I hope he's in the conversation for having good pasta if there is a change up with any of those top 3 for USA. But yeah, that was it. Christy, do you have thoughts on Seattle?
I have thoughts, but first, my Rutu came back from a walk. She had to say hi real quick,
Mm,
and then
enough.
she just booked on me and said, "Give me a cookie." Yeah, this is a league that you can't relax in.
Yeah.
I thought they relaxed in the third. They played okay. The second was a good period. And then third, they didn't do much, and there wasn't a lot of attack, and they got outworked. They got completely outworked most of that game, and that can't happen. So, it doesn't take much. You've got Spencer Knight playing really well, but all it takes is one shot from the point that's deflected, and you don't know where that thing's going, and there's no way to stop it. If it has eyes, it has eyes, and that's what happened. And then you have, you can't quite see the puck, and then there's another, and then all of a sudden, well, wham, well, wham. The Connor Bedard thing, I'm sure most people have heard about it. He needs to understand you can't. Stripes doesn't take to being shown up like that. And he skated right in front of them and gave them the business. And I don't think that was the problem.
No, it was when he went back.
But he went back around, and then he also raised his stick. And I understand what he was doing. He's just saying, he hit me on the hands with his stick. But you can't get in their face and then as you're skating away, raise that stick in their direction. It's not intolerable. He knows that now.
He does. Can we talk about how also, though, the stick thing with Connor and the hit on Burakovsky were both Ryan Lindgren?
Yes. Yes, and we can't. I mean, the Burakovsky hit, it looked bad to me. I get it. He's falling the other way. Could they have called a penalty? Yes.
That's a headshot.
It's a weird game because at times there's a good percentage of players that will let up a little bit. Lindgren did not let up. He was in what they call a vulnerable position. But it's also, again, as we like to talk on this show, it's a fast game, man. Everything, once you start moving and his head's going down, I don't think there was intent. I think he could have laid up a little bit more, but then you worry about how you come out of that if you're not following through. Does then Burakovsky come by your skates? I don't know. So I give the benefit of the doubt. I still would have liked to seen a penalty call there. There wasn't much talk back from the Blackhawks. And I saw that almost as growth, that they're like, listen, we'll show them by finishing this game out. And then that didn't happen. But as far as the Beacon of Hopes thing, that's a complete lesson learned.
Exactly.
You know that you costed points. You know you're headstrong, but this is a league and you just can't. So I thought it was handled well by him. I thought it was handled well by Bash and Pop. And then you move on. The beautiful thing is, hey, you got a game less than 24 hours to make up for all of it.
That we would like to pretend never happened. I will say.
Yes.
Can we knock it off with the Bloom doesn't play 100% and we're calling for his head in for an immediate Comesso call-up? No one played great against Buffalo. It's not just Bloom. Clearly, if 9 went in, you're all the problem. And can we just stop with the Comesso call-up thing? in general, the kid needs to cook in Rockford, because as we're seeing with the Minnesota Wild right now, with a certain guy who's been sitting in Iowa for longer than we expected, this is what you get if you let your goaltender cook in the AHL. Drew does not need to come up for a while. Bloom is fine. I mean, no one was fine during that game, but he's done plenty of games where he's stood on his head.
No, that was 60 minutes where you got outworked for 60 minutes. You got beaten every puck and you got out physicaled all game. It's the Buffalo Sabres. You went in thinking it's the Buffalo Sabres. Oh, we get to let off a little bit. We don't need to bring up the whole statement of you're not good enough to let up, but you're not good enough to let up. And that's a pretty talented team over there. They were manhandled. They were embarrassed. And yes, I heard plenty of that also saying, oh, geez, Bloom's not. It's a crapshoot. The only other thing that I heard is they should have pulled Bloom. I get why Bash and Pop didn't. Knight had played the night before, and he was going to turn around and play Sunday. Bloom took this one for the team. And his coach let him out there to get lit up for the team. My only reaction is every player better have went over to his stall and said, sorry. And it should have been a line, because that's the first game that was a complete crap effort. It was the easy way, and they didn't play hard. They just did not play hard. It was pathetic. So you had the thing that happened when a penalty should have been called, and the Connor Bedard, it was a penalty. For anybody who's watched this league a little bit, everybody should be well aware that happens. It happens in this league. You move on from it.
Not to throw out the conspiracy, but it seems not even just Chicago specific. It seems to be a bit more than normal of just things are not getting called this year. I mean, there was even the game last night, and I haven't watched everything specifically, but against it was like Detroit versus New Jersey, and there were both bad things that both teams were doing, and nothing was getting called. There were headshots everywhere. Poor Lucas Raymond.
Yeah.
But it seems like just across the board, Stripes are like, you know what? I'm going to leave my glasses at home.
Yeah, and they're not doing that. It's a fast game, and you want to be sure. So in the Connor Bedard situation, you wanted to be sure. But hey, you go back and look at it, that's a penalty. We're not ever stating that wasn't a penalty, but you move on.
Right.
Because there's going to be missed calls in every game. It's just the way it is. It's a fast game, and if they call everything that happens, the games are going to take 5 hours. So this is what we get. And again, we can segue to the next game where, I believe it was the first for me. I have never seen a penalty called and then rescinded before they dropped the puck.
What is that? What was that? For the first time, maybe ever, I'm sitting here agreeing with Tyler Bertuzzi. Like, what is that? Also, I think it's a little bogus that, Connor Bedard yells whatever, but Tyler Bertuzzi calls the ref a moron, and that's fine. But whatever. You got Chicago versus Colorado, Spencer Knight versus Scott Wedgwood. Big first looked fine. I thought Tavo had an excellent penalty kill at the top of the first. I like Green. I thought Green had a good game. I appreciated Murph's feistiness, especially towards Josh Manson. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was going to be so much worse, especially after Friday's game. Kind of like was holding my breath, like, is the other shoe dropping? Is this where things start to get bad? But I was also very curious because I've been very skeptical on Bash and Pop, at least in the beginning. And I feel like Colorado game was the first game of like, okay, we're not winning. What are you doing? Like, how are you going to coach this team moving forward when not everything is firing in all cylinders and it's all happy 6-7 land? Like, what are you going to do? And I didn't hate it. You hate to see a loss, but I didn't hate it. At the end of the day, Cale Makar is going to do Cale Makar things, and otherwise, I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it. You had a team that played the night before. And you could tell that in the first period, Colorado did not have their legs. You just couldn't get one in. You dictated the play, but couldn't get one in. And good teams win when they don't have their best stuff. And Colorado did not have their best stuff. That's number one.
Yeah, Scott Wedgwood is playing out of his mind.
But they played well. I was not happy for the fact that basically Bash and Pop put our top line, the Beacon of Hope, Bertuzzi, and Ryan Green up against McKinnon. And, I'm thinking the Dick's back, that should be his slot, but maybe he didn't trust Dickinson's first game back and everything.
I mean, that could be
that line more than held their own.
Yeah.
And I can segue into something else that I'm starting to hear a little bit about, which I will comment on, is now that the Barracuda is back, a lot of rumblings that, Bert needs to stay up on the top line and Ryan Green needs to go somewhere else.
Absolutely not.
The other thing with Ryan Green being up there is, for the most part, Ryan Green is playing center. He might be on the wing, but he's doing what most centermen do. Okay, and he's taking the bigger draws, and you need to remember, Nate McKinnon doesn't do everything well, and he can't take faceoffs. He never has been able to. Even the year Colorado won the Cup, they were like the third worst faceoff team in the world. So Ryan Green has a role there, and that is basically to do things more defensively, take really important draws, but his two-way game is important, and he's a facilitator. He can make plays. I understand in that game he needed to bury one of his shots. I'm with you. It hit a crossbar. That needs to go in. I'm with you on that. But that doesn't mean that now you have three people up there that struggle to play defensively and really think the game. I mean, Bert's been playing phenomenal, but he is no defensive saltwater. So I just wanted to state that. No, I like that line being kept that way when Barracuda comes back. It's just, that's a better team. They knew how to lock it down. You knew in the third that they weren't going to score.
Yeah.
But I will give it to the Beacon of Hope's line. They matched up against McKinnon's line more than adequately.
Right.
So I've got a problem with my computer real quick. So you'll have to give me a second. Oh, look, I'm right back.
We're back.
So yeah, it seemed like it could be worse, but also
it definitely could have been.
There's also the illusion that, they played the night before in Nashville and then probably got in at 2 a.m. So,
but Colorado is good enough to play a back-to-back and still be better than most teams.
Right. And they're also good enough to know that they don't have to play a hard 60 minutes against an inferior team.
I mean, you could say with Nashville too the night before.
Right. But you're still playing the night before and then hopping on a plane. It does take a lot out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into that come January when the Hawks have like 3 back-to-backs and everything's stacked. But we all thought it was going to be worse. It wasn't. So that's good on us. You needed to put one in the first, and maybe things are different, and that's a really good team. So hey,
Yeah,
I'll take it like you.
yeah, I'll
But
take
now,
it. It could have been worse,
but
and
now
we've
I am
seen
at the
worse.
show me part. You now have, as you previewed, Minnesota comes in who's on a heater.
Yeah, because of
If you
Not
lose,
Philip Gustafson. It's because of Wallstedt, because that's what you do. You let your goaltenders cook. And Jesper Wallstedt, homeboy's been cooking.
yeah, and if you lose to Nashville, all bets are off.
Oh.
And then you have Anaheim coming in. So this is their first time of, all right, you need 4 points to show that you're not an anomaly, if that's the proper word.
Yeah.
Krusty's vocabulary really piss poor. It's at about a second grade level. So we'll see where that goes. I'm curious what they do with the goaltenders if Knight goes every game. I would assume Bloom maybe gets Nashville, but it'll be interesting. And on another note, now that I know we're at the 55-minute mark, so I'm pretty sure most people aren't listening, so I can vent all on my own and not have to worry about repercussions. I've probably been to over 700 home Blackhawk games, maybe more. Friday night will be the first time that I'm being told what to wear. And the fact that I'm being told what to wear for a meaningless game in November really gets in my crawl. But I understand we're all about the money machine, so whatever. There, that's all I got to say about that.
You don't want to wear this? I mean, this is a pretty good one to wear.
That's a really good one to wear. I don't like the fact that you're trying to make something out of nothing. It does not work for me.
Well,
that's set aside for big games when you decide you want to do something like that. And again, I will say this to Hawks management, then be like the Winnipeg Jets. Okay? Give a black t-shirt to everybody who walks in the building if you want them to wear black. I'm sorry. I had to.
Yeah, sure. Krusty is really living up to his name. Yeah, so for those who have not heard why Krusty's complaining about this, the black alternates are back. So that's why we had to hang up the best black alternate jersey. Not because Artie's in the doghouse or anything. I think he's doing fine. In fact, I think he's getting more love this week than Sam Renzel is. But we had to hang up the good black alternate jersey. That is your Tomaru 2-1.
Yes, and if I can yell about the subject some more.
No, I'm excited for them. They sold out very quickly. I will be waiting, biding my time, mainly because I don't like that the one player that I was going to get isn't an option. It was one of the jerseys. I know I can still customize it to put Ryan Green's name on the back.
No, that's mine. You already took Artie from me. You do not get to use that one.
There is no taking Artie from you. I'm sorry, one of us went up to Michigan State. I think I had dibs on Artie first.
I'm just saying I had thought about that one, and then you went out and purchased it. Ryan Green isn't yours.
No, I know Ryan Green isn't mine.
Okay.
We gotta wait for. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting. Every time there's an injury, I need these injuries to come in twos because I'm sitting here patiently waiting for a savvy call up. That will be the next jersey. Although I said that was going to be the next jersey, and then I bought the Artie one, but that was just impulsive, and I really like to annoy Montreal Canadian fans.
Mm-hmm. And then for, with these next 3 games, my other thought is I've got certain players not playing all that well. And this goes out to Sam Renzel. I understand all of that. And I understand it's not in your toolbox that much. But if you're going to struggle a little bit, then do me a favor and light somebody up. You can still just be physical. I need a big hit from you in the next couple games. I don't care what happens. I need you to engage a little bit more. And this team is in a very iffy spot. Colton Dock, this is a time I need you to be extra physical. Okay? We need a player to bring us into the fight. That's your job.
Otherwise, there's a great one that's sitting down in Rockford right now that would really, really love a call up.
So that Minnesota game is going to be good.
Yeah.
That's a very good team, and they play heavy. They back down from no one. I need them to take the fight to them. I don't care about the outcome, but I need you guys, you youngsters, to take the fight to them.
Yes.
So that's what I'm hoping on, and let's get right back on the winning ways.
Absolutely. Just as a reminder, folks, make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, however you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. If you are going to a game this season, 1, please head over to Su Taqueria El Rey del Taco over on Ogden. And 2, please wait for the whistle. Do not get up all the pucks in play. Do not try to head back to your seats while the game is going on. That one in particular, because if you got to go to the bathroom, you got to go. But when you're coming back, just wait. And tell your friends, tell your partners, tell your hot baristas, whoever you're going to the game with, wait for the whistle. That is all, and we will talk at you guys next week.